bring in Helima Croft, Global Head of Commodity Strategy at RBC Capital Markets and a CNBC contributor. This about what you would expect with something like this?
This is about what we'd expect. I think the key thing to watch now will be what will the Iranian retaliation look like beyond the drone strike that we saw yesterday. Obviously, people will be paying attention to the regional energy infrastructure. There's a lot of concern over the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of global oil supply goes through there on a daily basis. But I do think the real question is, do the Iranians do what they did in 2019 when they targeted pipelines, tankers, hit Saudi Arabia's Abqaiq facility? We have a playbook for what Iran can do. I think it looks more like 2019 than the Straits of Hormuz.
So we've seen what they've done in the past, and you don't think they have the ability to make it far worse? Or
Oh, I think 2019 is far worse. And the question about Straits of Hormuz is, can they close the Straits of Hormuz? I've heard assessments that it would be very difficult for the Iranians to close the Straits of Hormuz, given the presence of the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. But they could target tankers there. They could mine the straits. We did see a lot of this going on during the Iran-Iraq war in the 80s. Again, the question is going to be, what do the Iranians do? Do they try to internationalize the cost of what happened last night by trying to raise oil prices further? Do they just target Israel? Do they try to off-ramp the situation? But this is such an amazing escalation in terms of hitting not only the Natanz enrichment facility, head of the Revolutionary Guard killed last night, a number of top scientists, top generals killed. Like, this is a devastating blow.
If they were able to close the Straits of Hormuz, as unlikely as it seems, I think J.P. Morgan has said the worst case is you're talking about a super spike.
Oh, of course it'd be a super strike. But again, I don't even think they need to do that to have oil prices move higher from here. Again, I would pay attention to facilities across the region. Iran backs militias in Iraq. They could target, Iraq's 4 million barrel plus production. Again, we saw a playbook in 2019 when we reimposed maximum pressure sanctions. The Iranians hit tankers off the coast of UAE. They hit pipelines. They hit Saudi Arabia's Abqaiq facility, taking off half of Saudi's production temporarily. It is noteworthy that countries in the region, such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, have come out and condemned the Israeli action. They do not want to be targeted by Iran this time around. So, again, there's a lot to be watching in terms of the region, in terms of oil.
My guess is they probably are not sorry to see Iran's nuclear ambitions set back, even though they don't want to say that.
Well, I think this is what they have to walk a line between being content with Iran's nuclear ambitions being set back, but also they do not want to be the target of any Iranian retaliation. So they normalize, the Saudis normalize relations with Iran in 2023. They are not best of friends, but they want to de-risk the neighborhood. So again, I think they are trying to hope that the Iranians don't turn their attention to them.
You're all about oil, but I'm just wondering about what the response for Israel, what that holds. Is the Iron Dome totally replenished from all the?
Well, we have said that we have helped replenish Iron Dome. I think that really interesting question is, does the United States get involved in this conflict?
Further.
Because, yes, Natanz was hit, but that is not the more serious Iranian enrichment facility. That is Fordo. That is a much more impenetrable facility. That's where the high-speed centrifuges are located. That's where they are enriching uranium at near weapons grade level. That facility was not hit. And there is a view in security circles that that would require U.S. assistance. They will need our bunker-busting bombs to take out Fordo. So it was a blow against one facility, but it looks like Fordo is still standing.
They have some of our bunker-busting bombs?
We have
Are we the only ones able to deploy?
So there is a view, and I think it's a view that was widely held in Western intelligence services, that Israel does not have the capabilities to fully dismantle Fordo. And that, again, the Iranians have transferred their faster centrifuges for Fordo for a reason. It's much more impenetrable. So the question is, do they reconstitute their program? Does the United States get more involved?
Are we looking for Iran knows that then, and we would, to get involved to that extent, that do you think that they'd have to directly attack some of our assets?
I think that the key question, or the red line for President Trump, has always been, and again, he's somebody who does not want U.S. engagement in the Middle East militarily on an extended basis, but he has this red line, or he's had this red line in this first administration of no Americans can be killed. And remember what happened when you had an Iraqi or American contractor in Iraq killed in January 2020. That's when he launched the drone strike on Qasem Soleimani, head of the IRGC Quds Force. So the question is, do the Iranians decide that it's too risky to target any U.S. bases in the region? There are about 40 to 50,000 U.S. troops in the region.
Then the bunker busters could be on the way.
Yeah, so I would really pay attention to, for now, the White House has said they were not involved in yesterday's attack. They have told the Iranians to avoid targeting U.S. personnel and interest in the region. Again, the red line that we have seen President Trump enforce is on the death of Americans.
Vladimir Putin would say to Donald Trump about this, or President Xi? Do we even talk about Russia or China?
Well, I mean, China is basically the sole buyer of Iranian barrels at this point. I think, obviously, it's not in China's interest to have this blow up.
It's an unholy threesome. Those.
Add in North Korea as well, and you've got an unholy square.
A gang of four. Yeah.
But again, the question is, Putin can have views and thoughts on this, but I don't think he's going to be critical to the conversation to the White House in terms of where this goes.